What were Jim Crow laws, and how did they work? Imagine a society where the color of your skin determines your access to basic rights and services. This was the reality for many African Americans in the United States from the late 19th century until the mid-20th century. The Jim Crow laws were a series of state and local statutes that enforced racial segregation and discrimination, primarily in the southern United States. These laws emerged after the Reconstruction era, a period following the Civil War when efforts were made to integrate formerly enslaved people into society. As white supremacy regained power, particularly in southern states, Jim Crow laws were enacted to maintain racial hierarchy. They mandated separate public facilities for white and black individuals, including schools, transportation, restrooms, and restaurants. The phrase "separate but equal" was often used to justify these laws, although in practice, the facilities and services provided to African Americans were typically inferior. The implementation of Jim Crow laws was supported by various means, including local enforcement and social customs. White citizens often took it upon themselves to enforce these laws, leading to violence and intimidation against those who resisted. The legal system also played a role, as courts upheld these discriminatory practices, further entrenching segregation in society. Voting rights were another significant aspect affected by Jim Crow laws. Various measures, such as literacy tests, poll taxes, and understanding clauses, were used to disenfranchise African American voters. These obstacles were designed to suppress black political power and maintain white dominance in the electoral process. The impact of Jim Crow laws was profound and far-reaching. They contributed to systemic inequality that affected various aspects of life, including education, employment, and housing. The effects of these laws continued long after they were officially abolished, as the legacy of segregation and discrimination persisted in many forms. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s sought to dismantle Jim Crow laws and achieve equality for African Americans. Activists organized protests, boycotts, and legal challenges that ultimately led to significant legislative changes, including the Civil Rights Act of 1960 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which aimed to eliminate racial discrimination and protect voting rights. In conclusion, Jim Crow laws were a manifestation of systemic racism that enforced segregation and discrimination in the United States. Their legacy continues to influence discussions about race and equality today, reminding us of the importance of vigilance in protecting civil rights for all individuals.